Well, welcome to our episode where we get to find out, Bethany.
Who am I?
Who are you?
Who dat chick? Who is she?
Thank you guys for joining us. Today, we are actually going to dig deeper into finding out who Bethany is. I think all of us need to know a little bit about who Bethany is. Interesting. Obviously, I know about you because we've been doing this for a minute here, but tell us a little bit more, Miss Bethany. Where were you born? When did you move to Arizona?
Well, it all started when a mama bear and a daddy bear love each other so much. No, I'm kidding. No, I am from California originally. I was born in this town called Apple Valley, to be specific.
Okay.
Also known as a high desert. Long story short, all you need to know is it's a little rinky-dink town. Very small town. I mean, it's not super small town, but it was a great spot to be born and a great spot to leave.
So what are we talking about? Are we talking about one stoplight in the whole town?
No, that's
two.
Yeah. Okay, I need to rephrase that. In comparison to Arizona, it's like a small town, but honestly, it's probably close to wow, people are probably gonna roast me on this, but maybe a Tucson, but a little bit smaller version of Tucson.
Okay.
So there were some areas we had a Target, Walmart.
That's nice.
I think we had 4 high schools, I believe, maybe 6.
Not too shabby.
So it's not too small, but
Yeah.
I mean it's just that's a mixture of there's Apple Valley, Victorville, Hesperia, Barstow. If anybody knows where these parts are, they're probably oof.
I don't know what part that is,
good.
but
just know it's oof. It's I don't know. It's nothing too crazy.
it's fun.
But
Sorry.
small town vibes, but not one stop sign or one general store.
Okay, so pretty much you went to first grade through 8th grade with the same kids.
Yeah.
High school, same kids.
For a little bit of high school, I did move to Marietta for a bit when my parents were divorced.
Got it.
And I did that, but then I finished my junior and senior year back in the high desert.
Okay. So then you knew pretty much everybody that you grew up with.
Basically, yeah. I mean, it's more of a small town vibes to where you don't know everybody per se, but very quickly within a handful of years you know of them.
Got it.
Almost,
okay. So I mean, that must have been kind of nice, going through high school that way, growing up that way. I would think it's is it kind of okay, my foreignness is going to come out here. Is it one of those shows that you watch at Disney when you're a kid, little small town girl? Is it something like that?
I think I would say in a way. It can be it would be a more modern small town girl, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Not the country western and my big green tractor small girl vibes, but more she's just navigating her life in her I don't know district. I said district it's Hunger Games. What the hell? District 12. But yeah, so that's where I grew up. I mean, funny. I mostly was hanging out with my family in Rancho, Pasadena. So I did venture out a lot.
Okay.
All I gotta say is the high desert is not necessarily a bad place.
Okay.
It's definitely gone a little bit worse throughout the years, and it's more of more of a small town setting. But I'm just happy that it's not where I'm now, just because I wanted more.
Got it.
Out of it.
Is it more Sons of Anarchy kind of vibe? Mm-hmm. I mean, that was in California.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just throwing it out there.
I haven't really watched Sons of Anarchy, so I can't really tell you.
It's motorcycle gang.
There's definitely motorcycle gangs, yeah.
So and they were obviously dealing guns.
Pretty sure, dude. Especially there's this place called Lucerne Valley. There was definitely some sus stuff going on there.
Okay, so it's Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
I'm gonna need you to go home today and watch an episode.
Okay.
And then you have to come back to our podcast and say, hey,
I
mean, you were right, or you can say no, not like that.
Yeah, I'm sis, there's not 30 Vikings, but there probably was. Honestly, there's just a lot of I don't know. It's a great place if you like your space.
Got it.
And you want a lot of privacy. That's why my dad loved it because he's very he likes his space. He doesn't like neighbors. Where in some places, especially here in Arizona, you literally open your door and your window and you could almost touch your neighbor. He wanted
Absolutely.
a little bit of land.
Land is good.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I just think with where I am in life, I love how I got to experience a little bit of that small townness, but then also too I ventured out.
Got it.
Just because I do see the beauty in it. But right now, I would probably lose my mind a little bit in that small town.
That makes sense.
Small town life.
So, what would you say is your favorite memory growing up there?
Ooh. Dang, there's a lot to go through. I'm kind of the worst at memory.
What do you mean?
Like, well, hear me out. So you'll like talk to me and you'll be like, oh, Bethany, remember you and I, we went and we did this thing, and like it'd be like, oh, we went rock climbing. I'd be like, really? We went rock climbing? And you're like, yeah, dude, we went rock climbing, remember? We did. And then it'll like come to me like I'm there right now.
Okay.
But like if you initially ask like, oh, did we ever go rock climbing? I'd be like, I don't know, have we? But to answer your question,
I didn't know this about you, but okay.
That's me. I'm kind of just like coasting, like, oh shoot, did we do that? And then it comes to me, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, you were in that blue shirt. I remember we went to Kava. Like, you know, it's like boom there. I would have to say one of my favorite memories is my dad, actually, shout out to him, he built me and my brother a treehouse.
You had a treehouse?
Yeah. So
dang, I always wanted a treehouse.
Dude, it was dope. Actually pretty, I love you, Dad, janky though. Like, honestly, me today, I'd be like, damn.
Don't mind my snorting.
But like, dude, me and my friends and my brother, like, we would do some outlandish, like, jump off of it, hang on it, throw stuff at it. Like, you know, we were just kids having fun.
Do you have one of those tires with a string that you, like, swing on?
My dad did do one, but it did fall.
Oh, okay.
So, but he tried on that. But it was actually a really sturdy
treehouse
for what it was. Definitely a little sketch. Definitely not, like, professionally done. Like, if there was like an HOA, our ass would be grass. Like, that'd have been like, that is not up to standards. But it was so cool. And my dad even put electricity up there. Like,
wow, you guys had lights.
Yeah, we did. Well, basically, he just got an extension cord and a surge protector, and then he fed it for the side of the house in. But dude, I had a TV in there.
You had a TV in your treehouse?
Yeah.
Did it ever rain?
Oh yeah, it did. Which he somehow made it. He made a roof, and dude, my dad, he's dope at this. He did like a see-through little plastic sliver on the top.
Oh.
So you could see through it at one point. But then the bush, like not the bush, the tree branch did grow over at it, and it was no longer visible.
Got it. Okay.
But that would be one of my favorite memories.
And it's a great memory.
It's actually dope, and it was fun to have people over and
I love it.
Be like, guys, look at my treehouse. But I was that I was at Home Depot girly.
Got it.
Like Home Depot, if you don't know, every Saturday or every first Saturday, they have little crafts for kids.
They do.
And you get your little orange apron.
I know.
And I would do that. So when my dad was like, let's build a treehouse, I felt like I knew everything I needed. Yeah, I was like, say less.
Yeah.
I'll bring my apron and my little hammer.
I'll bring my little screwdriver.
Literally, I was ready, girl. Just so my dad could yell at me that the light wasn't where it needed to be.
Yeah, I love that.
But
I think I was on the other side of things where I loved cleaning. So
yeah, dude.
I would have totally cleaned the treehouse.
Literally, I'd have been like, okay, you clean, I'll paint this out. Yeah,
I love it.
But I even had people, my friends would come over and they helped build it, so that was awesome too. So
it's very cool.
Long story short, that would be my memory.
So pretty much you were like Beth the Builder.
For sure, girl.
Not Bob the Builder, but
no,
Beth the Builder.
I'm my own name, Beth the Builder.
Beth the Builder.
I was definitely like
BTB.
For sure, girl. BTB all the way. I was definitely more of like a Tom girl, for sure. Like, I loved helping my dad with crafts. My dad is a mechanic.
Yeah.
A diesel mechanic, so he'd be like working on the cars and stuff, and I was right there with him.
You're like, there's a ranch, Dad.
Yeah.
I love
that. Shine it higher. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I didn't know that about you.
I could change a tire or an oil.
You're going to change mine, because if I get stuck in the middle of the road, I know nothing. I'm telling you right now, I'm calling AAA, and that's it. State Farm, here you go. Got my friend on speed dial.
Roadside assistance.
Send somebody. Roadside
like,
is big time. Yeah. But you know what? I do have some things that you should carry in your car.
Ooh, okay.
Like a blanket, in case,
that
somewhere.
Is essential. Water bottles.
Water.
Yeah. Even though it's going to get hot in the car, it's better than nothing.
A snacky snack.
Mm-hmm. Snacky snack. What kind of snack? Like nuts or something?
Probably.
Okay.
Or like one of those like
something
bars.
With good shelf life.
Just in case I get stranded in Arizona.
But you have nuts. Nuts in a blanket, and it's 110.
Nuts in a blanket. That's it. So yeah, I'm screwed. I didn't even know I had a spare tire in the car. Okay, don't roll your eyes at
sorry.
me.
Yeah, it's fine. My dad just instilled this into me from the get-go, but it's just different. Like, you know how to sew. I don't.
Yeah, because you're gonna get stranded. I'm gonna stitch your pants or something.
No,
like
there's just
what do you mean?
You know what I mean? We have our differences. Like, you can draw me a beautiful picture that looks realistic, and I can draw you a stick figure, and his name is Bob. Like, but I can change your tire. I can change your oil.
I don't need to call AAA at the time.
I can do spark plugs. I could do your light bulb for your turn signals in your car. I know how to check your battery voltage. I don't need no man, because I am the man. I'm just a girl.
Honestly, I got a light and I took a picture of it and I was like, Dad, I don't know what it's saying.
What?
And he goes, you just need to add some oil in it. And I was like, all right, buy it. Like,
tell me, here's my card.
And I don't know, like, it's fine. I just drive it. Yeah,
it's a lot, honestly. And I literally had to call my dad the other day because we took the car to get service, and the mechanic was like, hey, your engine, what was it called? The bracket to the engine that holds it, I guess, apparently is like cracking. And I was like, Dad,
I'm gonna make it easy for you. I got a nail in the I will say that Home Depot is my favorite place. I go there all the time.
I'm a Home Depot
I got a nail at Home Depot, and it was like $4.59. And I was like, oop, discount tire. So I like pulled up at $4.59. And it's like, we're actually closing. I was like, yo, like, can you just check it? Like, and he goes, he's probably like, this dumb girl, like, she doesn't know. And I was like, can you just check it?
She's not going to make it through the night.
Yeah, he goes, fine, just pull up, you know, that's fine. So he goes, you can just wait over there. I'm like, I'm fine, we'll wait over there. So I waited. And he comes back and he goes, do you want the good news or the bad news? And I was like, what'd you do?
Yeah.
And he goes, I said, what'd you do? Yeah. And he goes, well, the good news is you got a free tire because I slashed it accidentally.
Oh, that's
And he goes, yeah. And he goes, the bad news is you have to buy another tire. So I'm like, girl math, I just got a free tire. I was like, that's fine. Just change it.
How? Wait, didn't he say he's got you? Didn't he slash your tire?
Yeah, so he gave me a free tire. Then I had to buy another tire to balance it out.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I was like, like, girl math, 2 free tires. I was like, that's fine.
Price of one.
I was like, you probably did it on purpose because I showed up at like $4.59.
What did he say?
And he goes, no, I swear. And I was just joking with him. I was like, you probably did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, I swear. So to point it to you, I'm really bad with cars.
That's okay. That's okay. And if you ever want to learn, I can show you
I don't.
the little hand.
I really don't.
Tire changing?
Probably not. No.
Like I have
it's something that I have something I have zero want to ever learn. I should, but I don't want to. So I'll just text AAA or State Farm or my friend and be like, hey, can you send somebody my
SOS, help me.
SOS, here's my location.
I ran out of my nuts and water. My blanket doesn't help when it's 1:15.
Whatever, Beth. So, tell me, why did you decide to say yes to me about this podcast?
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. I'm kidding.
Fair point.
No, full transparency. Because I love the purpose behind it. I mean, I know that our chemistry, our conversations, like that's one of the things that I love about us, and for us to talk about real things, and to just share our story, like I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in just reminding people that hey, like we're all going through different things, and we're all in this world together, and just to share information. So when you approached me, I was like, "Girl, say less."
We love it.
In. But I was a little nervous because I'm like, I
mean, we've never done it.
No, like, and like, hearing my own voice, ugh, I can't. Like, it's
That's
a
how
big
I feel
thing for
with
me.
mine.
In the line of work that I'm in, I do listen to my calls just because, like, you can learn from them. You need to get information. I'm starting to get better at being okay with my own voice, but I'm still kind of like, skip. Okay, this is what I need.
I think everybody feels the same way because I feel the same way when I listen to my voice in my phone calls because, you know, I have to review them and I'm like, ugh, cringe. But I think you have a great voice, and I think other people are just like, you got a good voice, and I'm like, do I?
Yeah, you're always your worst critic. That's for sure.
But,
like I am my worst critic. That's what, like literally.
I love that. Well, I love that you decided to join us, and you know, we can make this baby. You know,
it's our podcast baby.
It's our podcast baby. Yeah.
Blossom.
What would you say? I know that obviously you shared with me that this is one of the goals that, you know, you want our podcast to succeed and strive and like, you know, get it to wherever length or whatever it takes for us to be successful in this. But what would you say that are your top 3 goals that you have this year that you are working on?
Okay. Let me think for a second. To start, I would definitely say one of the biggest things is my business. Being in the line of work that I'm in, I'm trying to build more of my sphere of influence and my self-gen. So just honing in on that, getting out of my comfort zone, establishing new relationships. It's one of the biggest things that I'm focusing on. My relationship is one of the things I'm trying to focus on. Just growth, like communicating. Just, trying to grow together and make sure that we are being the best versions of ourselves that we can be for my significant other. So that's a really big thing for me. And then number 3, I would probably say my religion.
Okay.
I've been really teetering on that just like the past few years of my life, and I just want to hone in on it more. Just ask the questions that I've been, curious about, get a better understanding, and then kind of just get more of an idea of, okay, what does that look like for me moving forward?
Got it. Okay. So talking a little bit about your relationship. Obviously, you and Alex have been together for a while. Alex has kids.
He does.
He has 4 kids.
He does. From a previous marriage. One lady.
Bethany's.
Yeah, one lady, not multiple. Because our listeners are like, damn. No.
Alex is going to be like, oh my God.
Yeah. He's like, what do you guys talk about? I'm like, weather. Busy.
That's it, Alex and the 4 kids.
Yeah.
With one baby mama.
Yes.
But
they're amazing. They're amazing kids.
Yes. You obviously have your hands full. So not only are you trying to build your business, we're trying to build this podcast. You're trying to grow your religion, but obviously you're technically like a stepmommy to the kids. How do you handle that?
Good question. Still figuring it out. I think I always will be. It's hard. It is hard. Let me just hold on. It is hard. Shout out to all the parents out there because damn. Pause is intentional. You really are just figuring it out. Like 100%. It is such a selfless thing. Yeah. Which is understandable because you're literally shaping and forming these beautiful beings in front of you. It's scary. Yeah. You don't know what you're doing. It's like made me so grateful, and it makes me really just admire and acknowledge what our parents have done, even though they're not perfect. It makes me admire all the other parents that are raising children. It's just like the list is never ending, but there's so much more that goes into it than I ever thought I could understand or grasp until actually being in the trenches and doing it. Like, your needs and wants become second, which makes sense. Like, their needs and wants, like, they need to be developed, they need to be cared for, they need to be taken care of, but it's just such a crazy, refreshing perspective. Yeah. Because going into the relationship with Alex, he warned me, which I respect him, I appreciate him, hey, is this something you really want to do? Because this is kids, lives and like relationships, and he doesn't want to hurt the kids, which I totally respect. Makes sense. Nor would I. But like, I really didn't know what I was getting into until being in it.
Well, on top of it too, it's not like there's just one kid and you guys are focusing to. There's 4 kids with different ages that now you have to navigate. Yeah. Right?
13, 12, 9, and about to be 3. Soon will be 4.
Correct. So you got like 2 teenagers. Yeah. You have a 10-year-old, 10-year-old, and then now you have like a little toddler that's running around the house. Which one of my favorite stories with the toddler about his like wiping. Poor buddy. That was just the funniest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. So like, it's just hilarious on how like you're handling that, but also like you're dealing with like teenagers. Yeah. So like it's completely like night and day. What would you say is one of your favorite things that you are experiencing with the kids?
I would say honestly, like seeing them grow. Like, you always like say and talk and you're like, oh, like your actions have an effect on people, like, be mindful. But actually seeing it happen like in real time is crazy, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a little bit scary too, because it's like, dang, like everything you say and do really does have effect, whether you acknowledge it or not. But just seeing like how the kids are growing and going through their struggles, which is normal. Kids are trying to find who they are, especially coming from a divided household. Like mom has her life with her husband, and they're half with her the week, and then we have them for the other half. Like, just that dynamic and the change can have a big effect on the kids. So just seeing them grow and learning, okay, this is my new life, my new family. Now I have a bonus parent that I can rely on and look up to. Like, it's a beautiful thing, but it's also mind-blowing how much of a reaction and effect that it does have over time. So that's awesome to see.
Now, how is your relationship with the teenagers?
It's good. It is good. It's kind of hard. I mean, they're just like navigating their life, and they're trying to figure out their hormones and find their way in social media and the influence of the other kids in their school. It's awesome, but it's also frustrating at the same time because, like, I just recently came into their life, so I'm trying to just like be someone they can rely on and count on, but also too now I'm finding my avenue of, okay, now I'm an adult figure to them and I need to be assertive, but also I need to remember, like, hey, I'm just the bonus. Like, the mom and dad are the ones that instilled what they instilled, and like I need to just like second that, you know, or guide them.
How would it be if you were to not necessarily scold them, but like if there was a situation that you have to like be assertive? How would you, like, how do you guys handle that? Do you just like, are you like, hey Alex, I need you to do X, Y, Z because this is what happened? Or is Alex more like, no Beth, like you have all the rights to say X, Y, and Z to you know, navigate that situation?
Great question. So that's one of the things that Alex and I talked about at the beginning of our relationship, is just how to handle those things, because I knew and he knew it would be inevitable that something would happen in that way. And we just chatted and communicated, and he, of course, mentioned, like, hey, like, if I didn't trust you, value you, respect who you are as an individual, I wouldn't bring you around the kids. So I trust that your judgment of character would be true of what needs to be done. So I do, like, if needed, I will, like, chat with the kids and just say, like, hey, like, is that correct? Like, how can we fix that? But I am also mindful, like, hey, I'm not mom, I'm not dad. So I will chat with Alex and be like, hey, I want to let you know this is what happened today. Like, I need you to also go in there and just, you know, support and have that conversation as their father of like, hey, Bethany told me what happened. She told me that you guys communicated, came to the conclusion of, hey, maybe me reacting in that way wasn't the best way, so I need to treat my sister with respect. Like, I'm letting you know that is what we need you to do. You know, do you see where that went wrong, you know? So that's what we do. But it is a really weird and uncomfy thing because it's like a new territory to me. Never thought I'd have to do it. Or at least I thought I'd like learn how to do it. Like, when you have a kid, you like learn the toddler or the newborn stage, toddler, child, preteen, you know, teen, all that. Like, you learn how to navigate through those, to where I was just kind of like thrown into it and like, all right, we're out here learning. Like, no, you shouldn't do that, you know?
The good news is that you and Alex have such a good relationship, such a good understanding with one another, that you guys have that trust with one another and know that, like, you will do the right thing to the kids, and same thing with that. So I think that's wonderful that you have that. Now, you mentioned that, like, you're definitely working with your religion. Tell us a little bit more, is like, where do you sit with that? Like, what's got you where you are now, and where do you see yourself moving forward with that?
I mean, I grew up in a Catholic household when my mom and dad were together, like me and my brother. I have an older brother. We were instantly like baptized. Like, it's just a generational thing in our family, like Catholic, very strong with religion. So we were brought into that that mindset, that religious belief. So I was going to catechism, that's what you do. Also, we go to Sunday church. My parents, when I was in like high school, beginning high school, they got divorced, and that just kind of like thrown things off, because then it was kind of like, okay, mom and dad, now mom's separate, dad's separate. Religion got kind of a little wonky in there too, because now we went from going to not going to sometimes to it's up to you if you want to. So like, I definitely did have like a battle. And also like trying to figure out who I am. I'm a young adult, I'm hormonal, I have society pressures, I don't know what I want to do, I'm about to be out of high school, do I go to college, what do I do in college? Like, it was just a big stressful thing. So I did kind of lose myself in religion, just because I was kind of like lost. And honestly a little bit resentful, because I was just like, what the heck is this? Like, my life sucks, you know? Which everybody thinks at one point. And then I've just noticed throughout the years, like, wanting to, I almost feel like a pull more to God, to like, I need him, I want to learn more about him, I want to get the answers to the questions that I have. So my goal is to just kind of get myself immersed in the correct spot when it comes to religion, and just getting a better feeling of, okay, what does religion look like to me and my family, and how do I grow in that area?
Gotcha. You mentioned that obviously, like, when your parents' divorce happened, a lot of things shifted in your life.
Yeah.
How do you think their divorce impacted you in your own personal relationships that you have?
Yeah.
But also, like, in the growth that you have? Like, were there things, like, very challenging in your life as far as, like, trauma that actually, comes from divorced parents? Yeah. Like, how did you navigate that?
I mean, I wish I could say gracefully, but I really didn't. I don't think anyone really does. But all I know is, like, now that I'm an adult and I am now helping Alex raise the kids, it makes me realize how much your parents really don't know, As a child, when you're growing up, you think, okay, mom's mom, dad's dad, they just know everything, you know? Like, oh, they tell me I can't do this. Like, oh, they just know, they have it figured out. When in reality, they're just figuring it out day by day, rolling with the punches. When they got divorced, it was hard just because, as I mentioned in the beginning, I was really close with my dad.
Yeah.
I was more of a daddy's girl. My brother was more of a mommy's boy.
Yeah.
So, like, I was helping my dad with the cars, helping my dad with the treehouse. He would help me go to practices. Like, we would always practice and do stuff. So then when they got a divorce, and it was due to my dad's infidelity to my mom, it was a really hard thing because I just, like, went from he was my world to, like, you are nothing to me. Yeah. So that was really hard because I was lost and confused because it was almost like, dang, he chose to break up the family.
Got it.
So I ex-nayed him, didn't talk to him for like 2.5 years, didn't see him. I moved with my mom to Marietta, my grandparents, and that's where we lived, and that's where I did a portion of my schooling.
Yeah.
So it was hard. And then also, too, my mom just now figuring out post-divorce. Yeah. Who am I? What do I do? How do I support my kids? Now I live an hour and a half away from my son, who's a senior in high school, and my daughter is a freshman. Like, it's just a lot, So my mom suffers from anxiety and depression, so I feel like I had to grow up at a young age for my mom, if that makes sense, because I would mostly help her, and my dad wasn't really mindful of mental health. He kind of drew it up as, like, you're exaggerating, you're just being a victim. Yeah. So me and my brother were really big when it comes to, like, consoling my mom. So I, like, did that post-divorce, taking care of my mom, but also figuring out, like, damn, what do I do? Like, how do I navigate that? So kind of not good, but I try to be graceful, and I just try to remind myself, like, hey, like, they're figuring it out. They don't know what to do. I don't know what to do either.
So you were, like, technically an adult still as a kid. Yeah. Because you had to take care of, you had to step in and take over and help out with your mom.
Exactly.
Obviously, you touched base on infidelity, which is a big thing. Going through that with your dad, which was extremely tough for you, right? What do you think of infidelity right now? Like, what do you think of cheating?
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it. I definitely, because of that, I mean, even before that, I definitely didn't love it, right? Like, I always grew up to learn, like, hey, like, you love someone, you were faithful to them. If you don't want to be with them, just don't be with them. Yeah. But with that happening with my parents, I've just always had the mindset of, like, I will never do that to someone. So if I'm ever in the position to where I'm no longer interested, happy, like, I just need to cut ties. Yeah. And also, too, just knowing, like, you need to be self-sufficient to where you're never in a relationship because you have no choice but to be. Yeah. I never want to be in the position of I'm married and I'm stuck because I financially can't get out. Yeah. Or I mentally don't have the strength. Like, I've always instilled in myself never to put myself in that position because I know too many people that have literally said, like, oh, I would leave him if I could, but I can't because I don't work. Or I can't because he just has too much of a hold over me and I'm not a person without him, Like, never.
That's very sad to be in a situation. How is your relationship with your dad now?
It's okay. It's very, like, surface level, if that makes sense. We never really mended all the way. He's a loving and caring individual. He definitely grew up in a household with 3 other siblings, and I love my aunts and uncles. They're amazing. They're so kind. They're so loving. But they really, from what I've learned and just listened, like, they weren't really nurtured, if that makes sense. Yeah. It was more of, like, that Hispanic mentality of dad will go to work and provide, mom will clean and maintain. And mom is busy with cleaning, cooking. My grandma was into sewing. My grandma owned her own restaurant, so my grandparents were busy with that. And my uncles, aunts, and my dad were just kind of fending for themselves, like, not necessarily, but It was mom and dad were busy. They were just working, going to school.
So the emotional thing was not there.
They didn't get the emotional.
You don't get to be emotional.
Correct. So to say, it translated to my dad to where he didn't know how to be emotional.
Yeah.
So he showed his love by being there, by providing for the family, throwing the ball with me, taking me to practice, but not really like, hey, I love you and I'm proud of you.
Got it.
If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
So with the divorce, he also did another stupid thing down the road. Like, he just doesn't know how to say sorry, if that makes sense. He kind of just brushes it. So our relationship is okay, but it's not like what it was prior, and I acknowledge that I don't think it ever will be. It's like a new normal. If that makes sense.
Do you think that, even though he's not an emotional kind of guy, right? Have you ever taken a chance to ask him why he chose to step out of the marriage with your mom? Like, was it like just he was miserable, or was it just temptation, or like what do you think? Well, what do you think caused it? But also, like, have you ever asked him that?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely hinted to it, but honestly, it's a really hard question to ask, and I've tried to get it out of him without directly, like, it was like a pointed question of it, and he's just kind of like brushes it. Like, I think he feels really guilty about it, and he just doesn't really know himself. Like, I'm sure it just is chalked up to temptation.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom was struggling with anxiety and depression. As a parent, you put all your needs aside, and he was probably needing some love and affection, and my mom wasn't doing that for him. And someone opened an outlet, and he just caved and took it, which that's on him. I'm sure he's dealt with it, feels guilty, still does to this day, but that's what I'm thinking it is.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the emotional capacity, even though I hope he did, to kind of just own up to it and say, like, hey, here's why. It wasn't because of you guys. It was, like, I'm sorry what I did. Like, it's just very, like, I'm sorry.
It's just like an apology
kind
of deal.
Like, I'm sorry. And it's just, I don't think he has the mental capacity to truly express how he feels on it.
And, everybody has, like, their own ways of saying sorry about things. Like, not necessarily word-wise, but, like, making an effort on doing things. So, I definitely, think that he feels that way, even though it's hard to express it. So, I'm glad that you have, like, a relationship with him, and, but it's definitely challenging.
Exactly.
Do you think that shaped you into you going into relationships thinking that could happen to you?
Oh, 100%. I wish it didn't, but 100%. It's made me so aware and in a way anxious of, like, okay, I need to make sure I'm never dependent on anyone. I need to make sure that if needed, I can go. I need to make sure that as soon as I see any red flags, I'm out.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing to have, because some of it is make-up, right? Like, you make up these ideas and things of, oh, like, they're a little cold to me, they must be XYZ, like.
Yeah.
So it's definitely made a harder shell that I have on the exterior for someone to come in and, like, crack it and let me open up to them, because it's really, like, a vulnerability I don't like. So it has had a toll of, like, how I let people in and how I navigate those avenues, even though I wish it didn't.
Yeah. And I can understand that, because I felt the same way as you do when it comes to that. I think that, like, the best way to handle that is knowing that, like, if somebody is going to do shady things behind your back, no matter what you do, no matter how antsy you get or how much you check or whatever it is, they're going to do whatever they want to do.
Exactly.
So, like, controlling other people is very out of your hand.
100%.
So, like, I think the only thing that has made me feel like, yeah, like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if it's not, then it's not. And if you're choosing to do that, at the end of the day, like, that's your loss on me.
Exactly.
Versus the other way around. So, and it's hard to do. Because when you love people, again, it goes back to loving people. Yeah. When you love them so much, you try to, like, make excuses for things. So.
Correct. But excuses can only go so far.
Yeah.
And I mean, to your point, that's what I've gotten way better at. I was never, like, controlling, but I always, like, had a bag packed, if that made sense.
You were ready to go.
Yeah, I was ready to run. Okay, I'm out. But definitely now I've noticed, like, hey, like, in every relationship now that I'm adult, I've always told my partner, like, hey, if you're ever unhappy, like, just let me know.
Communicate.
We can try and work on it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like, that's totally fine. But just don't cheat on me. Like, I'm going to do the respect and not do it for you. Again, you're a grown adult. You're going to do what you're going to do. If you do it, you do it, but just know I'm out. Like, there's no second chance. There's no way you can convince me otherwise, but I would hope you are a decent human being that you can just communicate with me.
Yeah.
And we'll go our separate ways. So I've definitely instilled that and made sure I voice that. And I do know, like, if they're going to be not loyal and they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat.
Yeah.
It's not a reflection of me. It doesn't mean that I was a horrible significant other. Like, that's a decision that they made. And because of their action, or what is it? Because of what they did, there's a consequence to it, and therefore we're no longer together. You know?
I'm a firm believer that what goes around comes around. Like,
exactly.
If you choose to do things behind somebody's back that truly loves you and truly is there to respect you, whatever you do, it's going to come around and it's going to hunt you. Maybe it might not be like in the next month or 2 months or whatever it is, but down the line you are going to get that.
Exactly.
Especially when you know that you have given it your all and you've been your all and you've been the best version that you could be, right?
Exactly.
I think that the way that you think about relationships is so awesome, from going with the parents that have gotten divorced, and you've seen like what that causes to you, and you choosing to handle things this way is just amazing to me. Like, I think that's fantastic.
I appreciate it. It's due to what I was dealt in life, which I'm grateful now that I'm older that I was dealt with it, because it just made me that much more of a stronger individual and more understanding, if that makes sense. I'm now able to kind of like step back and look at the bigger picture rather than just me, which I think a lot of people in today's world are very just me.
Yeah.
And it makes me realize, like, dang, like what my dad did was not right. But also, too, I need to take in consideration, like, being a parent is hard. I'm sure what was going on with, I don't know the full story of what was going on with my mom and dad. Like, I'm sure they were both, like, not doing what they needed to do. And they just needed to have the hard conversation. And because they didn't, that's what happened. So I need to make sure that whoever I'm with, I have the hard conversation if needed. Yeah. Rather than to just choose an easy way out, you know?
Yeah. So. That's so great to hear. If you, best way that I can say it, like, what inspires you?
Good question. Definitely my vision of who I want to be, right? Possibility. My family inspires me. I mean, they're so loving and warm, and they've truly taught me, like, everybody has value. Everybody needs to be loved and cared for, and we can't succeed unless we are helping others. Yeah. So it's definitely the family aspect. Just wanting to be able to provide for my family in whatever capacity that is, whether that's mentally, physically, by being able to help take care of my family, financially, like just things like that. I want to be able to provide security and love for those that I care for.
I love that. What would you say has been one of your regrets that you've had in life?
Ooh, good question. I would say letting my stress take over the moment. Yeah. I definitely, most recently, this is the thing that I've struggled the most about, is not taking it day by day and acknowledging how blessed I am today. Just always trying to reach for more and reach for things that are in the future that I really don't have control over. So that's something that I would say is just taking it day by day, realizing what I should be grateful for that I have today, and then also still shooting for higher. Yeah. But if I don't achieve it in the time frame that I want, I'm not feeling, like I'm still doing good.
Yeah, I love that. What would you say is one of your main or best accomplishments that you have achieved so far?
Ooh. I think just my career.
I love
just
that.
being where I'm at right now, the potential, the way that I get to grow my business, the flexibility that I have. I mean, I'm able to, if needed, I can work from home, I can work from the office, I can work out of the country, being able to build relationships and connections when it comes to business, and just learning like confidence in myself of like, hey, like you can achieve so much, like you put your mind to it, you set yourself up with daily steps, like you can execute it.
I love that. If you were to give a piece of life advice to our audience, or even to yourself, like what would that be?
I would say take all the risks.
Yeah.
As I said in the other episode, you miss all the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
Take them. Fall forward. Don't fall backwards.
Yeah.
Failure is growth. It should not deter you from proceeding in the direction you want to go. When you fail, you learn how to be better. And if you take that, you're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
you're just going to become a better person. That's what I would say.
I love that.
Easier said than done, though. Let me sign that.
There's plenty of times that we obviously, like, we do take risks. And, like, you and I have talked in depth about the risks that we've taken, right? So, like, the one thing that you and I have very much in common is that, like, we do take risks in life and we, you know, do things. Like, on your side, I think, like, you're a little bit more calculated when it comes to risks.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of go back and forth on things and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Makes sense. Versus, like, on my side, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Seems great.
Send it.
Send it. Like,
YOLO is your motto.
100%.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, I don't think of so much of the consequences, which I've gotten a little bit better versus just like,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just like, you want to travel to Thailand tomorrow? Let's go. Bags are packed. Let's move. So I do think that, like, that advice is one of the best advice that you can give. And I feel the same way on that one. Like, you gotta take all the risks that you possibly can.
Yeah, and to your point, I love how, like, spontaneous you are. It does influence me to where I'm like, okay, like, I don't need to be so calculated, you know? Because I am calculated, not in every aspect, but I do very quickly, like, okay, if I were to do that, what could go wrong, you know, or what could go great? Like, I do that, I'm like, kind of, I just need to chill and take the step, you know?
I kind of need to be a little bit more like you, where I'm like, hey, like, if I do this, like, what possibly could go wrong?
Yeah.
Versus being like, YOLO, just like,
let's go.
Just do it. Like, whatever happens, happens. Like, it could go either way. It could be great. Could be, you know, whatever. Like, packing your Mini Cooper and driving it, you know, from Illinois to Arizona, just randomly out of the blue.
Best decision
ever.
Yeah.
You know, at that moment, I was just like, hey, like,
okay.
We got $580 in our pocket. Let's roll.
Go. And we had been like, okay, $580, food, this, that. Okay, worst case scenario, I'm down here. What do I do? Like, my tire, I run over a nail and now my tire is flat. Like, can I afford
No,
a tire?
didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
I just stuffed the Mini Cooper. It was fully stuffed.
Which props to you, Emmis, because Mini Coopers are not big.
No.
And girl, I love your style, but I know you got a lot of clothes.
I did have clothes. I have more clothes now.
Yeah.
But I did have clothes. And, like, to be honest with you, Mini Cooper fits a lot more than you think.
Heard.
There were no furniture in there, obviously.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, like, it had been super,
clothes,
compact.
You know, all of that good stuff
The
essentials. Fully packed up. But,
and you are organized, so I'm sure you made the most of what you were
the most of every little tiny hole that was left in the Mini Cooper was stuffed.
I know your glove compartment had some socks or something in there to make space.
Probably.
And, you know, emergency socks are great to have in there if ever needed.
Yeah, for whenever anything happens in my car.
Yeah, you got to go to a playhouse and you need the sticky socks. You got extra sticky socks in there.
We got them, but I love that. What would be, obviously, this podcast that we're doing, there's a lot of things that we're going to, different episodes that we're going to talk about and, you know, bring some other guests in.
Yeah.
What would you see, like, what is the future that you see for this podcast?
I would say, I mean, I know our main goal, and we've talked about this, and I know I brought it up a moment ago, is just to share our stories, share information. I mean, like, we're not, you know, scientists. Like, I know you're not, I'm not. But just talk about the daily stuff, right? Talk about things that everyone's going through, just being informative. My main goal is to just share stories and share our story, share our perspective. And again, if you don't agree with our perspective, not an issue, but hopefully it made you think, okay, what is the other side, you know? Just to be open-minded and to get information across, which I'm super excited about us to have more guests on.
Yeah.
We can talk about more topics, hopefully get more specialists in certain areas, so then we can kind of pick their brain and ask, like, what are the common questions people like you and me are curious about, but we just haven't been able to ask.
Exactly. Would you say, and I know you're the one that actually does our viewings and who our viewers are, and you shared something with me that was kind of funny the other day, where you're like, you're like, most of the people that are listening to our episode are guys.
That was crazy.
That was nuts.
I was like, I mean, I love it. I'm for it. Thank you, men.
Yeah, thank you guys.
To the men that are listening. We appreciate and value. And hopefully we're giving you a new perspective, you know? Yeah. A little like, because men do think differently than women. That's
100%.
100%.
So much more logical than emotional.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. But again, we can always learn from both sides. Maybe you can be a little bit more emotional. Maybe us women can be a little bit more logical. You know, like, there's something to gain from it. But that was wild.
That was like, so strange.
MS. So apparently,
so more guys
looks
listen
like
to our podcast.
Yeah, and you're like, what? And I was like, same, bro. But
I thought that was crazy, but really good, really good.
Yeah.
We definitely do want to gain more women, obviously, in our episodes, because a lot of health stuff that we'll talk about is mostly to like women, but that doesn't say that like men that are listening to our podcast, which is awesome, don't talk to their girlfriends.
Exactly.
Don't talk to their wives or their family members where they're just like, hey guys, like this is what we heard, like this is so bad for you, you need to stop taking that or whatever it may be. But
exactly.
I think that's very cool. Very odd, but very cool.
It's a fresh perspective, which I'm excited for the men that do listen. Like they're open-minded, you know, which is good.
Yeah.
It means that they want to learn.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing for them.
And it's great that we've had Ryan join us, where he gives the perspective of a guy on, a lot of things when it comes to family values, religion, and, guns and stuff too. So I think that helps.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. What would you say you have a crazy childhood story?
Dang. I need to think. That's a hard one. Crazy childhood story. Man, I feel like there's so many, but right now, off the dome, I'm gonna have to say, first thing that comes in mind is my dad built us a tree house, right? Like I mentioned.
Did say that.
And it was in stages, like, Moses didn't build the freaking Noah's Ark in one night. It took time. And I would have my friends come over and, like, we'd help build it. It was so fun that you did that. But when it was, like, at level 1 where we only had the platform.
Did you fall off a tree?
No, I didn't. But me and my friend, she had a younger brother. So she would come over and her younger brother would. And then it would be, like, my brother, her and I. We would just have fun, and we ended up creating this game where it was turkeys and Indians, and they were turkeys, and we were Indians, and we had rollerblades and hockey sticks. Long story short, we chased them around and beat the crap out of them, which is so sad. But you're a kid, and you're like, you're a turkey. Like, yeah, it was dumb. Also, too, the reason I mentioned the tree house and that it was in the beginning stages is it was just a platform. Like, it had, like, the foundation.
Yeah. There
was, like, an open latch to where you can climb up, and my dad made, like, a rope ladder. It was, like, rope and then a 4x4? 2x4? So you could step. My brother stepped up on it to get away from us because we're the Indians, Dude, I jumped up, I whacked him, and then my friend whacked him, and he fell off the platform, and not just onto the grass, it was onto our dog house. So his back went straight on the peak, and then he fell on the floor. Low-key, I'm glad he can still walk today. He should not be able to, honestly.
So what you're telling our audience is that you beat up people as a child.
As a 10-year-old and you're playing.
You beat up people as a child.
I guess, but not intentionally to be. He was a turkey, and I'm an Indian, and I got to provide for my family. Okay.
So you beat up your brother.
Just land on there. Yeah.
So what you're saying is you beat up your brother.
Yeah. Well, my friend helped me. I had an accomplice.
Wow.
So it wasn't just a one girl job. Okay.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is gold.
That's the first thing that came to mind. I'm sure I have better, but
on
the spot.
You should beat up your brother.
I wish a turkey would come in front of me again. Just kidding. Man.
Oh, that's wild.
You're welcome, guys. That's a gem for you to keep.
Yeah. Just like, I can only picture it with a hockey stick.
And rollerblades.
And rollerblades.
And a bob. I had a bob at the time.
You had a bob.
That was great.
I think we need a picture of that.
No.
Yeah, we do.
I think we're good. I think the world is better off not seeing that.
I think we need a picture of that one.
I can ask my mom, maybe. We'll see.
We're going to ask her to get a picture of that.
I had a yellow Bobby Joe shirt on, too. You know Bobby Joe? The monkey?
I'm a foreigner.
Oh my goodness. You were here in the States when it was popular.
I was 12 and a half. I don't know Monkey Joe.
No.
Bobby Joe.
I was 10. You were not Bobby Joe. Wait, hold on. When I was 10, you were not 10. 10. And Bobby Joe, I swear that's his name.
I don't know Bobby
It was
Joe.
That really popular monkey
I've
cartoon.
never seen the popular monkey.
They made like shirts and shorts.
Clearly you had one.
I did. That's what I was saying. I had a yellow Bobby Joe shirt and a bob.
I need the bob picture with Bobby Joe.
And a hockey stick.
I have no idea who Bobby Joe is.
Probably for the better.
Probably. I mean, I knew Arthur. That's, when I first moved here.
Yes. And was it Imaginary School Bus?
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
We had that one too.
Throwback. Oh, Dora the Explorer.
No, that was too later on in life. No, it was later on in life. I was an adult by that time.
Blue's Clues?
No.
Really? I'm learning a lot about you right now.
Because I'm older. That's why you're learning a lot about me.
You're not from here, so.
That's very true. I grew up on Sailor Moon.
That's an anime, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew that.
That was my favorite show. I grew up on that.
That's a gem.
A lot of little anime shows translated in Italian.
Oh no!
They were good. They were great.
Yeah, they're literally what's the word? I'm not thinking of. Classics. They're classics.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they would do that. I love that. I love that for you, girl.
Thank you.
No wonder it's better than Blue's Clues.
I've never seen Blue's Clues.
You're too old now. You wouldn't get the same excitement and enjoy it.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
I've never watched SpongeBob either. Yeah.
That's really American thing right there.
Very much.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
You had better things, so it's fine.
I guess so. We grew up like outside 10 o'clock. Come home at 10 o'clock so you can go to sleep.
That's true. That's crazy.
Our summers were like that.
You can't even do that. It's so sad.
Yeah, when it was like snack time, my grandma would like come out of the window.
Aww.
And she'd be like, snack time, come upstairs. And I'd be like, Grandma, I'm playing hide and seek.
Yeah.
You just ruined it.
Just ratted me out, sis. You're
just ratted me out.
Poor grandma. She's like, let me feed my hungry
But she would call you like 3 times. And she'd be like, Emmis. Like, she would get scared that something happened. I'm like, we're playing hide and seek.
Yeah, I mean,
Grandma.
little does she know that you're like safe, secure, and hiding. And she's thinking Emmis is abducted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That's so sad.
And we were like...
And you're just pissed at grandma?
Pissed.
This is my hiding spot that I've had every time, and now you ruined it.
They ruined it. 100%.
You suck. Give me those apples. Like
it wouldn't be apples. Like, you guys are wild. Like, when we grew up with, like, grandma would do, like...
Or what? Greek yogurt and pita bread?
No. It's great, though. No. It'd be, like, bread with butter.
Oh,
and then we'd have, like, bread and butter and, like, feta cheese on one corner and tomato on another corner. We used to run outside and eat it.
That is way better than apples.
Or watermelon. Yeah. Or, like, Nutella and bread and butter.
Dude, I love that.
We used to run outside, so that was that. But, you know, I'm glad that our listeners got to know you, Turkey Beth.
Dang, I'm never going to get rid of that. That's literally on the web forever.
You're going to be Turkey Beth for the rest of it.
Literally. Well, I'm glad that I was able to share with you guys. And it's only a portion, so much more to come for sure.
You guys are going to definitely get to know us a little bit more in the following episodes, and we just want this to be feeling like, you know, you've known us for a long time, and we want to get to know our audiences as well too. So if you guys have any questions, you guys have any comments, anything you guys want us to talk about, please hit us up. We would love to chat about everything. But thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.